Alright everybody, I'm still up here, $600,000 here on my Bitcoin and Ethereum position. And guess what guys, the stock market is currently having a massive rally to the upside. And I think this is going to very positively impact the Bitcoin price. As we can see, the S&P 500 had a big rally to the upside. The Nasdaq as well is at an extremely all-time high. The thing is guys, is that what is currently happening is that the Federal Reserve has yesterday announced that they are going to keep the interest rates steady. But what the president actually wants to see is he wants to see the interest rates lowered. Now, if we are going to see lower interest rates, this is going to pump more liquidity into the market. That's going to make it easier to lend money, and that's going to again add more liquidity to the global markets and pump the Bitcoin price further to the upside. Currently, however, there seems to be a little bit of a fight between Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, and the president. So basically what's happening is that the president actually wants to lower the interest rates because the current interest rates are at quite a high level, and it's costing the US economy about $300 billion just in interest payments. So because the inflation is quite low and the economy is doing quite fine, as we can see right over here with the Nasdaq, the president is asking the Federal Reserve to lower the interest rates. But the Federal Reserve is actually quite independent, and so it operates independently from the president. I think the president might be able to fire the Fed chairman. I'm not 100% entirely into it, but in theory, the Federal Reserve should basically act independently from the president. Now, the thing is that as we say in yesterday's announcement, the interest rate continues to stay the same. So basically, the president is very unhappy about that, but I think the interest rates will likely be lowered. I think this is a little bit of a political play, but in the coming few months, I think we are going to see the interest rates lowered anyway. And I think the stock market is already anticipating this. Now, partly what we're also seeing is that currently we have a lot of tariffs which are put on Europe and Korea, Japan, and all these deals are coming through, and they're all positively here for the US, which is also good for the US economy. It seems like the president is really making a lot of deals here. We also have AI, and this is really pushing the stock market up. Now, what we are seeing as well is that the dollar index has a slight mover to the upside. I think this might actually go lower because I think that's what the president is likely anticipating. And so I would say that this will be slightly bearish for the Bitcoin price, but I would say the main chart right now is the stock market. We generally see very strong correlation between the stock market and the Bitcoin price. It also just kind of shows you what's the liquidity. Is the liquidity good in the global markets? And so I'm anticipating that this is going to further pump the Bitcoin price to the upside. So I'm not necessarily a big stockholder, but I think it is very important to talk about it, that if the stock market does well, generally we tend to see a lot of correlation. And of course as well here, just a quick update here on my long position. Of course, I'm still up here $500,000 here on both of these trades. I put in about $100,000 and I turned that into about $500,000. Still anticipating that Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to break much further to the upside again here together with the stock market. So I'm still absolutely holding this trade. And by the way, guys, if you guys want to start trading, I do actually have a link here in the description. Only for professional traders only. Don't just start leverage trading. I mean, it's great for making money if you know what you're doing, but if you don't know what you're doing, better not to actually start doing it. But yeah, I do actually still have the 50% trading bonus right over here, just on your first deposit. Fill in your email address, your password right over here. The deal will end on August 6th. So if you do actually sign up, again, no KYC, no personal information required. Just sign up here, log in, and you get that 15% deposit bonus here on your first deposit. I will be trading more on Blofin in the future, so more about that. But for now, I will just hold my position here on the BTCC exchange, which I also have a link in the description for you to check out. So anyway, I'm just going to be holding this, guys. The market's kind of boring. Altcoins, I'm not interested in doing any of that. I'm just trading Bitcoin on leverage, and I'm just enjoying my time and doing other stuff here because I'm just, traveling and stuff like that, because I'm not going to be bothering with the altcoins or doing research. I just open the Bitcoin long when the right moment is there. I mean, you can watch the videos and then I just let the market play out and make money for me. That's basically what I'm doing. Anyway, let's go here to the next thing. The next thing is we're seeing that the US federal expenditure is actually increasing. So why actually is this? Well, the president is actually spending more money than previous years. I mean, what's kind of funny is that the whole thing about Doge is that Doge came along and Doge was actually going to lower the federal expenditure. But currently we have a new president which just starts spending more money. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican, they always end up spending more money. So anyway, it's going to be inflationary. So it's also going to be bullish for Bitcoin. It's just something very simple, very short. I just posted this over here on X. I said study Bitcoin over here with this chart, because that is going to be basically very important. The more that the US federal expenditure will go up, the higher the debt will go, and the higher the Bitcoin price will go, and the bigger the debt explosion is going to be in the future. Anyway, so long-term charts here that I actually put up here some nice charts that I actually found here today. This is the Bitcoin long-term power law, which I have been talking about quite a lot. Currently, this has a target here about $450,000. Not entirely sure if we're actually going to get that. I still have a target here of about $200,000. This chart does, however, imply that it has 3 touches right over here, right over here, right over here. We missed it the previous cycle. Now, the thing is, there is a theory that basically because the Federal Reserve increased the interest rates, we didn't really hit the Bitcoin price true potential, which should have been like $130,000 last cycle. That could potentially be true, but then it doesn't really explain why the bear market bottom would exactly line up. But anyway, if this chart is going to be correct, we will be going to about $500,000 for Bitcoin. If we do actually get there, look, I'm not going to be looking to sell a lot of Bitcoin. I'm looking just to buy Bitcoin in the bear market. But even if we do go to $500,000, let's say at the end of the year, then what's very likely going to be the case that around the end of next year, we're going to have a bear market bottom around $70,000 according to this chart. So this chart would say we're going to go, maybe if I zoom in a little bit, we're basically going to go over here to about $500,000, and then the bear market bottom is going to be around here about $70,000. I still have the strategy to buy just a bunch of Bitcoin at the bottom of the bear market. I'm not interested to buying Bitcoin at like an all-time high or right now. Like if I'm going to buy Bitcoin, I'm just going to buy Bitcoin under this blue line. As you can see over here, this is the Bitcoin Cycle Master Indicator, which I really like because it has always been correct before. I will just go here a little bit to the regular chart so you can kind of see the actual logarithmic growths here for Bitcoin. It generally, if you buy here under this blue line, that's generally a very good moment to buy. It's currently sitting around $70,000. That's what I'm going to be looking to buy. Buying around these lines over here, the orange and the yellow line, probably going to be somewhere around the end of next year. This year is probably going to go towards the red line, which is still sitting here right over here around $170,000. I think we're going to touch it. Very similar to 2017, where you're just gonna go up and fly up to it, touch it, and then come back to the downside. We're probably gonna trade a little bit into it, but I would say somewhere around 170,000, 200K, a little bit above that, maybe 220K. I think that's where the autumn high is going to be here for the Bitcoin price. I still think we're going to get a big surge here to the upside, but what this indicator is saying, $500,000, I don't really expect it, but if it does happen, I'm going to be happy. I'm still going to be able to buy at like 80K. I'm still going to be able to buy Bitcoin at a lower level. But again, I'm not looking to sell Bitcoin or trade the next all-time high. I'm just looking to accumulate fiat. As you guys know, with my trading, with my YouTube, whatever business I'm doing, I have actually businesses as well to the side. I'm not spending all my time making these videos and just doing, focusing on Bitcoin trading. Whatever I have in fiat, I'm going to buy Bitcoin at the lower levels, and then I'm just going to recycle it, put it in Bitcoin, and just repeat the cycle over again. So that's basically the strategies, guys. It's very, very simple. And so yeah, these trades, they're paying off. They're paying off automatically for me. There's no need for me to actually go out there and actually work. Well, I do work because I actually like to do it, because I can actually accumulate more fiat, but I don't necessarily need to do it. I have a very beautiful life anyway. So these trades, they just play out for themselves. They just make money for me to the side, for me to invest and do other things. So yeah, that's basically what I do, these leverage trades. And if you also want to get started here, I do have again here the sign up link, just the first sign up link over here in the description. Click it up here and get your 15% deposit bonus here on Blofin. No KYC, no personal information required. Anyway, with that, I want to end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe. Hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.